Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome if you're new. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get right into today's video. So for today's video, I'm going to be testing out some products from this brand called Covet Envy, and I don't know if I am pronouncing it right, but if I am pronouncing it wrong, I will have the correct pronunciation up on the screen. But I have worked with this brand before, and it's not like a really huge brand. She has like her own polygel line and things, and I have worked with her before, and she did take some time off to rebrand her website. So here's just a look of it and everything, how it's laid out. Pretty nice and simple. Here's just some of the colors I'm going to be using in today's video. Also, she has more products such as polygel brushes, and I really do love her polygel brushes, and I'm going to be using that one in today's video, so you will get a closer look. She also has this Back to Basics collection where it's like a clear white, sort of like a nude color and a covered pink, basically all the basic colors that you need. She also has this Soda Pop collection, which is the one I'm going to be showing in today's video. And then she also has the Sparkle collection, which is a bunch of glitters. I really love that pink one. And then of course the polygel brush with a few nail decorations. She don't have like a ton of things on this website, but she does have very nice polygels. And so yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into it. I do recommend you guys checking out her website because I will have it linked down below. But I did want to take a look at the polygel brush first. So here's how it looks. It's a super nice wide brush, and I really liked it. With this wider brush, you can cover more surface of the nail, and in my opinion, it will help your application be a lot faster. For the handle part, it has a nice little marble design on it, and then of course the spatula on the other side, which in this case with her polygels is going to be super important. So now let's get into the polygels, and as you guys see, this is not your typical packaging. Usually you see polygels come in tubes, but these are in little jars. Now, like I mentioned before, I have worked with this brand before, and the jars are pretty similar when I got them last time, except for the packaging that the jars come in is a little different. Now we have like this black cardboard paper or some type of thick construction paper. And before, in my opinion, the packaging was a little bit nicer. There was like these really nice quality snakeskin boxes. And I'll pop up a picture if I remember to. So yeah, personally I did like the previous packaging, but I guess marketing wise it is a little bit better not to spend so much money on the packaging, just as long as the product itself has the quality that it needs to be sold. So I guess in her case it did work pretty well because the product was still very nice to work with. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get into the actual product. So here I am just opening all of them. I went ahead and took the little seal off. They were individually wrapped to make sure nothing spilled out. And now at first I wasn't really looking forward to opening all of these like this, because at first my initial thought was that it would be so sticky and so messy, nothing like the tubes where you can just squeeze it out. But for some reason the process of me sliding off the seal top, it was just so satisfying. Like, I don't know why, but I was just really enjoying that part. And yeah, that was all the colors. And by the way, this is her Soda Pop collection, so we do get a lot of like really bright and spring colors. I did want to refer back to the card. Whenever I unboxed it, something caught my attention and I just wanted to mention it to you guys. So this card here says, upon arrival, make sure to stir full bottle well to even out the polygel color. And so I just kind of wanted to follow what the card says, because I know sometimes, you know, when you have to stir acrylic to mix everything together, you know, sometimes your application can be a little spotty. So I just wanted to follow the direction on the card. And as you see here, I am stirring this product and it is just so thick. And I'm just like, whoa, okay, I do not need to stir this, because for the most part, it looks pretty well mixed to me, and it was just taking a lot of my arm strength to do this. Now, me saying that these polygels are stiff is good in my opinion, and I always say that whenever I do my polygel applications, and polygel I recommend. I do love a stiffer polygel. It's so much easier to work with, and I will get to all of that whenever I start applying it. But here I am just gonna quickly swatch them, and this part was so satisfying, but definitely different from just squeezing them out. So here is all of the colors once I finish swatching them, and I think they look really nice. They look a lot smoother than I thought they were going to, because when I was stirring up the orange, like the consistency of it, like for some reason I thought it was gonna look and feel very gritty, but it doesn't. It's very smooth, and these colors are very nice. They're gonna be a perfect transition between spring and summer, since they are a lot vibrant than the pastel spring color vibes that everyone's been having. So let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and get into my nails. So for my nails today, I did want to do some coffin nails. So I'm going to be taking my 2 Cute Perfect pre-shaped coffin tips and just sizing them out. I do feel like these are my go-to whenever I want some coffin nails, along with the 3XL square ones from Crafts by 9. And not just because like they're just within reach, but I do love the quality of these tips. And if you're looking for some good coffin ones, I would recommend these. So once I picked out my sizes and I did go ahead and apply them off camera, I am taking my nail tip cutter and just cutting them down just a little bit, roughly around the same length. If they're not perfect at the moment, I will go in whenever I apply my application. When I get to the shaping and filing part, I'll make sure that everything is nice there. Also, when I did cut my nails down, I did have to go in and reshape just a little bit, because for the original length of these nails, they get narrow around like the tip part, and since I did cut them, like now the tip that I was having was a little bit more of the wider part, if that makes sense. So I did have to narrow them up just a little bit to give it a better coffin look, since I did cut down the shape. And so once I did that, I am just applying some base coat to all of my nails, and then I'm going to cure for 30 seconds. So now we can finally get into the application, and this was honestly my favorite part. I just love working with this polygel, and I also did want to mention that these jars of polygels is a very nice size. I'm not sure what size these are. I will look back on the website, and if it says it, I will put it up on the screen. But for the most part, like, this seems like so much polygel. And so yeah, I just really enjoyed it. And like I mentioned, the spatula part on the other side of this brush is going to be very important, because unlike the other polygels, you can't just squeeze it onto your nails, so you will have to scoop it out with that, or whatever you prefer to use. It's just a lot easier with that polygel spatula. And so as you can see, I am just applying this to the tip of my nails, and so far it seems to be working pretty nice. And I feel like a lot of the reason is because the quality is just so nice, and also because it is a stiffer polygel. Like I always mention, whenever you have a stiffer polygel, it goes exactly where you put it. It doesn't get too soft and flood your cuticles. You don't have to chase it around the nail. Like constantly doing that within the whole application part is just going to be so nerve-wracking, and it's going to take up a lot more time. So getting a stiffer polygel is just a lot easier to work with. But if you do love the softer polygel and you can manage it, that's great. But if you have been struggling, I do recommend you guys trying a stiffer polygel. And I know I sound like a broken record, especially for the people who constantly watch my channel and watch all of my polygel videos, but I do have new people watching, so I just want to put that out there and just give you guys some tips and tricks. So yeah, applying that first bead was so satisfying, and as you saw, everything was in real time. For my polygel application, mostly I just go in and do a lot of patting motions and just pat it over the entire surface, and then once I have it mostly evened out over the entire nail, that's when I go in and clean off these sides and basically smooth everything out. So with these being in the jar like this, if you are using multiple colors at once, you will have to make sure that you are wiping off the spatula. You don't want to dip it in one without wiping it off and then dipping it into another. You don't want to contaminate these colors and mix it. So I just had a paper towel on standby to make sure that my spatula was clean before getting another color. But yeah, once I did my first nail and smoothed everything out, I did go ahead and cure for 30 seconds, and now I'm moving on to the next nail, which I'm using the pink color, and this one is called Flamingo Fizz, I believe, and this is such a pretty pink. All of these colors are just so vibrant, and for some reason, whenever I do my polygel application, I do like to go in with a more thinner layer, But for some reason, working with these using more product was oddly satisfying to me. Like, as you can see, it's taking me a little bit longer to find the shape of this pink one and just kind of make everything look nice and neat. And I know just by looking at it, it just looks like I'm just patting and patting and nothing is changing. But trust me, all of these patting motions are going to be worth it, and it's going to get better. And so yeah, I'm just gonna keep continuing doing that until I'm satisfied, until everything is smoothed out to my liking. And even though I did only want to do the tips, like I said, working with more product was oddly satisfying. So instead of bringing that product down, I did just go ahead and bring it up towards the cuticle area and just make sure that it was really nice and flat in that area and gave me enough room to ombre my other color that I'm going to be adding. And yeah, that's basically all I'm going to be doing for the first part of my application for these nails. It's so satisfying, and yeah, I just really end up loving this product and how it was working for me. Also, I am using 91% ice purple alcohol as my slip solution. On the little card, it does says that you can use 70% alcohol, but I have the 91% and I always use it with any polygel. But you can use your preferred method if you like to use the base coat method, or you can buy a separate slip solution. That is up to you, but for me, the 91% ice purple alcohol works just fine. So yeah, I'm just going to be continuing doing this on all of my nails, of course using different colors. And I'm just going to let you guys enjoy this process because I didn't plan to do a lot of talking for this voiceover. It is 10 o'clock at night. I don't usually do my voiceovers this late, but I really did want this video up as soon as possible. So yeah, I'll check back in with you guys later. If you are enjoying the video so far, make sure that you go ahead and give it a like. And like I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I did notice that most of my viewers are not subscribed. So if you are here watching and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It will really help me out a lot. And if you are feeling generous, leave some emojis down below in the comments. I honestly cannot get over these colors. Like, they're just so pretty to me. And I feel like these would be a really nice selection for spring as well. Although in this collection I did notice how we were missing like a blue. I think it would have been really nice for a blue to be included. But yeah, I went ahead and cured all of my colored tips, and I'm going to be using this new polygel from makartt called a siesta, which is a gorgeous nude color, and I'm just going to be working it around the cuticle area and blending it down into that polygel. And this wasn't really my best ombre blend with polygels, but in the end it did work. You will kind of see it a little bit spotchy, but I did try my best for the ombre to look seamless. And yeah, that's nothing really much to this step. I just make sure that I don't have any on my skin. I make sure I'm getting that really nice dome shape for the apex area. And like I said, I know my ombre wasn't the best for this set, but just a little tip, I do feel like the ombres come out a lot better when the brush is a little bit more on the dry side. So once I start applying the bead, I do dip my brush into the alcohol and work it around the cuticle area so it's not so sticky. And then once I am starting to blend it out, by that time the brush is getting a little bit more dry, so that kind of helped me. And yeah, that's not really much to this, so I am just gonna let you guys enjoy this part. And again, this is the Siesta nude polygel from makartt, and I do have a discount code for you guys if you are interested in purchasing this or anything from the makartt website. So now that we have my ombre done, this is how it's looking. Like I said, it isn't the best because you can kind of see it a little spotchy in some areas, but in the end, it wasn't too bad. So of course, now we do have to encapsulate so that when we go into file, we don't mess up our ombre. So I'm going to be taking the last little bit of Gherkin that I have to ombre these nails. Not ombre, I meant to encapsulate. And I'm really sad that I can't get this clear polygel anymore, because in my other video where I mentioned how I cannot find it, and a lot of you guys were saying how Gherkin like stopped selling polygel and like the products was discontinued. So yeah, it's just really sad knowing that I wasn't able to get more of this polygel, but it was good while it lasted. This is a very nice and clear polygel for a very affordable price. But see, I just went ahead and put a bead on all of my nails. Typically I wouldn't do it like that, but I was having such a good application day, I just wanted to do something crazy. Also, I wanted to get some cool pictures for the thumbnail if I decided to use them. And since I did go ahead and put a blob on all of them, I had to go ahead and work all of them in before I cured, because I didn't want the light to touch any of them that I haven't like smoothed out yet. So I'm just quickly doing that, spreading the polygel over the entire nail. But while working on the other nails, it did give the other ones time to kind of smooth out and become like very smooth. So that was something good that came out of adding the clear polygel like that on all of the nails. But once I'm done smoothing all of them out, I do make sure to clean up anything on the other nails before popping them into the light, curing for 30 seconds. And yeah, that's what I did to encapsulate. Now that the encapsulation part is over, here's how the nails are looking. Now it's time to get into the filing. So before I file, I'm going to be taking some alcohol and a lint-free wipe and just wiping over that tacky surface. You always want to make sure that you go in and wipe that off before you go into file, because it can clog your file or you may not get the best filing experience or results. A recent comment that I saw was telling me how I should include like the sounds. So whenever I include my filing, I should include the sounds because it's very satisfying. Now that I can agree on, but I usually don't do it because I do listen to music while I'm doing my nails, and it's such a vibe that I just forget to turn it off. But fortunately for you guys, I wasn't listening to music this particular day, so I am able to include just a little bit. So I am just gonna let you guys enjoy this filing part. So yeah, I did have to cut that quick because in order for me to capture these sounds, I had to leave off my dust collector and the dust was getting everywhere. So I did just do one nail with the hand file and a little bit of the sealing in the cuticle part with my e-file, just to be able to include that for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. But once I finished all of my shaping and filing, I did have a few nails pop off, if not all of them. And so yeah, this is how the nails are looking. So on my way to wash my hands, it was like dark in the area. I don't usually cut on the hallway light, so like I was just swinging my hands and I got a glimpse of like a glowing look, and turns out these are glow in the dark. Like I didn't even know they were glow in the dark, but now that I think about it, I do think she mentioned it to me, which I forgot because obviously it's a few days later, and yeah, I was just really wasn't thinking about it. But yeah, they are glow in the dark also, so how cool is that? But yeah, I went ahead and washed my hands, so now we can get on to the nail art. I did bring out a dotting tool and some white gel polish, and as you see, I am having a few failed attempts of trying to draw on these simple little flowers. After wiping them off about 5 or 6 times, I only include 2 of my mistakes, but after wiping them off, I did just decide to do one flower in the center. At first, my original thought of a design would be to like add 2 or 3 of these flowers on each nail, kind of in like a slanted pattern. But it was just so difficult for me to do. Like, even though they are just dots, you know how there's just something that looks so simple until you try to do it. And with these little flowers like this, if you have one dot that's like too small or too big or out of place, the whole flower is gonna look so wonky. And I just really didn't like that, so I just focused on one flower on each nail. And as you saw, I did go ahead and flash cure the dots before I messed them up because I was not trying to keep redoing them. And once I did flash cure, I put some rhinestone gel in the center of the dots and corresponded a little rhinestone with the tip color. And that's basically how I'm going to be doing all of my nails. So once I decided on doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and do all of my little dots for my flowers, then cure, and then do all of my rhinestones, of course, matching them with the tip color. And this design was just so simple and so cute. I really love how it turned out. But one thing about this design, so I didn't really notice until I was like done with it. Since I am drawing them on with my hand in this position, they weren't really aligned like straight whenever I flip my hand to look at the other way. Some flowers were off center, but for the most part you can't really tell. But either way, the design was super cute and I loved it, so it didn't really bother me. But like I was doing the entire video, I'm just gonna let you guys enjoy it and not have to hear me talk through everything. So now that I have all of my gems on and cured, I'm going to be going over these nails with some of my Kiara Sky acrylic top coat. At first I did try to avoid polishing over the rhinestone, but since it's not like a huge cluster of like rhinestones, I was just like, what the heck, I'll just go over it. It's just one little rhinestone, because trying to avoid it would have just drove me crazy trying to do that on every nail. I just went ahead and went over it with the top coat. And then I'm going to cure these in the light, and I'll be back to show you guys what the finished nails look like and also give my final thoughts and opinions on this product. So once I had went ahead and applied my top coat and cured it, I did go ahead and off camera to apply some of my Kiara Sky rose scented cuticle oil. Like I always say, it smells so good. I honestly recommend it. But yeah, this is how the nails turn out, and I honestly really love how they turn out. They look really nice and fun, very colorful, cute for the spring or summertime, and I just love the cute little vibe that these have. There's a lot of colors, but the design is very simple, which ties everything together so perfectly. And as for the products that I use from this Covet brand, still I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but from this brand I really love these jars of polygel. And I think I did pop it up on the screen. These are 60 ml jars of polygel, so you get a ton of product in here, and the quality is just so amazing. And also the brush, guys, oh my gosh, the brush was just so amazing to use. I love that it being so wide allows you to cover more surface, and you don't have to keep going back messing up the polygel or like putting a lot of streaks in it if you do have a more softer polygel. I know some people are starting to use like really small acrylic brushes to apply polygel. Personally, that doesn't really work for me because they're like super flimsy. So yeah, I just honestly recommend these products. If you do love stiffer polygel, these are going to be really great for you. Also, I do recommend you guys check out her other products. She does have more colors like I showed in the beginning. But yeah, that's basically it for today's video. I will have everything linked down below for you guys to check out, along with my discount codes. And yeah, that's it for today's video. Let me know how you guys enjoyed this nail set, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.